Are you a BO4 peasant? Do you play BO4 on a peasant language of English like a default ass bot? Do you want to play BO4 on the prestigious language change versions so you can make sexy Zim Apex montages that are guaranteed to go viral? What's up my handsomes, JakubiK back here with another tutorial video. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at how to change languages within Black Ops 4 to anything you would so desire. There are 3 methods to change languages. I'm going to go ahead and showcase all of them in depth for you, so at the end of the video you're going to know exactly what to do, and you're going to be able to pick whichever one you like most to change to the language you desire. First of all, let's get into the first method. This is actually the easiest method and anyone can actually do this. It's actually just a small piece of knowledge that most people ignore. If you go ahead and take a look at your main Black Ops 4, so I have 5 of them obviously for different languages, but my main Black Ops 4 and your one, it might be digital. So if you have a digital Black Ops 4, all you have to do is go over here to the 3 dots, go to view product. You're going to go down and you're going to go to the product information. What you were looking for is your audio and subtitles. What languages are they in? Now, if you have just English, for example, that means you're only going to be able to use English, but there, in some cases, you're actually going to have a secondary language. So if you're using a French Black Ops 4 or an English Black Ops 4, you get 2 languages, which is primary English and secondary French. What this means is that I can change my English Black Ops 4 straight into a French without actually buying a new version. So this method, it works on a, of course, limited amount of languages. Just go over to your system language and change this to French, and that will restart your application. This will give you a file to download, so make sure you have enough gigabytes to download it. It's a small file, but PlayStation makes it so you need to have about 160 GB of buffer. So as long as you have 160 GB of buffer, it means you can just change this anytime you like, and you're going to be able to boot Black Ops 4 up again in French. So this does only work on a limited amount of languages, obviously, but it is the simplest method out there. So basically anybody can change to some random ass language that they would desire. So as you can see down here, we got a full French, and also your characters will actually speak in French in game. So this can be any language you would like. Depends really what version you have. I'm not currently aware of what versions have what languages, but I know English 100% you can get French for free. So most of my viewers, they either have French or English variations. All you have to do is change your system language, you get a free language. It's quite a simple method. This is the simplest one out of all of them. Basically anyone can do it, and it's usually the easiest. Only problem with this, it's limited in the languages. But for the next method I'll show you, well, you can have whatever languages you like. So on to the next one. The second way in which you can change your Black Ops 4 languages is through game discs. You can get these from eBay. I personally import them from directly in the location they originate from. So over here I have Spanish, German and Polish, and these will allow me to change language in game. In my opinion, this method is the best out of all 3 because you can actually have multiple languages stored on one console at a time. There's actually no limit to this. And so anytime you want to play a different language, you just simply boot up one of these. There are some specific conditions for certain languages that I will showcase now, however. So what you want to know is that your voice and writing in the game are actually different. So let me showcase that to you right now. Let's say we're over here in the French version. The voice and the writing both stick together. So the voice would be the blackjack, for example. You can test it that way. You can hear blackjack in the background. And the writing would be this. With some of these games, there is certain conditions you must meet, so I'll showcase that right now. Let's say we'll start over with Spanish. Also, while doing this method, you can actually keep your original digital. So you can, whatever game you're trying to import, you'll keep the original version from the digital. As you can see over here, it's busted in right now. And when it goes through, I'll keep my French variation. So now Spanish is loaded in. When we play Spanish, it will actually go straight to the Spanish version. Now that we're in here, you can actually see that it's Spanish already. Spanish is the version that actually gives you both text and your sound automatically. As you can see like this. That's all the text there, and you can go to here and you get your blackjack speaking in beautiful Spanish. The best part about this is it takes no extra steps to actually change your language. You could just go plug your disc in, and you're basically done. It's not that simple for some of these other versions, so we'll go straight over to Polish next, and Polish is half and half. I'll show you that right now. So if we open it up for English, we're gonna see that there's actually no voice lines that are in Polish, it's just text. But if we go over to the black market, as you can see, the voice lines aren't actually there, so you're only gonna get text. For this, all you have to do is you have to go to your system language. Interestingly enough for me, if I change my system language to French and have my digital open as French, for example, so that will allow me to use my digital as French instead of English, it will also work and restore the voice lines to Polish. However, if you want to be safe, just put your language to whatever the language of the disk is. Particularly in this case, it would be Polish, so we can put it to Polish and then restart the game, and the voice lines will return to their originals. So right there, we'll put it to Polish. What this will do is it will make your system whatever language you already have. So if you're using something like Japanese, this might not be particularly pleasing for you. However, this will give you the best experience if you're trying to go for languages. And once you restart the game, you'll see we're going to get voice lines back. And let's go to black market. As you can see, the voice lines are now actually in the native language. Now let's move over to German. I'll show you some other interesting things that happen with discs. Let's bust our German in right now. With certain discs, you'll actually get neither voice or your writing. So when you actually buy certain discs, you might think, okay, this is some bullshit. This is just English variations. Actually, we're gonna turn this over into English first, so you can see it better. So right now I'm actually on German BO4, but on English as my system. As you can see, I don't actually have any German text, and I won't be having any German voice lines. Some discs simply will actually give you neither if you use it in a different language of the system. German is one of these cases. If you've ever have a disc like this, so German obviously you'll have it, there might be some others, it's fine to actually fix this is no problem. It's the same method you would use, for example, for the Polish one. As you can see, it's basically a different version of English. All you have to do, like before, change your system to German and everything will be restored, even your voices. German is obviously Dutch. As you can see, we got the beautiful German text. And we got our beautiful black market right there. So everything is restored. For this method, I'm going to do a quick recap. There are certain discs, like, for example, Spanish right here. With Spanish, you can just plug it in and it will work perfectly fine as you go in. There are other discs which are half and half, like Polish. Polish, it'll work half of the way. If you want to have the full version, you just need to change your system and it will give you voice lines. And finally, there are some discs which are just simply retarded, like German, which is basically another version of English. However, if you change your system language, it will restore all of your settings to German, so your voices and of course your texts. Because this method requires discs and different versions rather than going through when it counts digital, as the next method will, what you can actually do with this, I will change this first of all to English so you guys can understand this. What you can do is you can actually go to system storage and download all of these game versions at the same time. So as you can see right here, I actually have all of these downloaded. Whenever you get a new disc, you're going to need to re-download the game, but this will mean that you can actually keep it forever. So let's say I wanted to just play Spanish, I just bust it in right here and done. Like, I can play Spanish. If I want to play German, I can bust it in right here, change some settings, I can play it in about 5 minutes. If you're going to use the next method I'll show you, it will take you longer to do that. So you don't actually have to re-download anything here. That's why I have 4 Black Ops 4s on my menu right this. With certain game discs, you may also find that you can use secondary languages, so they're not so obvious language versions of the game. For example, French obviously would have an English variation, so if you were a German and you wanted to get English, you could just simply walk over to France and get the French version of a disc, and then change your system settings to English, and you'll also get a French variation. So you can use your secondary languages. However, I'm not too sure where to check what discs would have what languages, as that doesn't actually say it anywhere particularly here. But to your knowledge, if you do want to use any secondary languages of these discs, they do work. The third and final method within Black Ops 4 changing languages is actually game sharing. What you can do is you can make an account within any other region of the world, and this will give you access to their PlayStation store. So I'm actually right now not on my main account, I'm on a Japanese account. So I have a PlayStation store from Japan. What this makes you do is you can actually search up games from different stores and buy them. So I can just like straight up search up like Call of Duty, Black Ops 4 obviously, and you can buy these here. Because I'm on a Japanese account, this will download a different version. So I actually have two digitals. I have my Japanese digital and my normal English digital. This is also a benefit, of course, because that means you don't really have to mess around with having to like re-download games 24/7. You can just like straight up go to your Japanese or your English like so. The only issue of this is you can't sometimes buy from the PlayStation store with normal credit cards. So you, for example, on your Japanese account, you wouldn't be able to straight up buy BO4. There's a secret method for that, which I can't really go through right now. But if you do have anyone who lives in Japan, you can just get them to make you an account and send it over to you. And as long as the account has Black Ops 4 on it, all you have to do is just download this shit to your console and you'll be able to play it on your main. So right now this is my Japanese account, of course, and it has the access to Japanese. By the way, on Japanese your circle and X are reversed, so if you do want to get your Japanese versions, just make sure you do understand that, because that is a bit annoying. And if I go over to my main, which is JakubiK, all I gotta do is simply find whichever one is Japanese. I think it's probably this one. And yes, off we go. We got Japanese on JakubiK, as you can see right here. If you wanted to have your sound like with your in-game voices to be Japanese as well, you have to have an extra step, obviously, just like the previous method. All you got to do is you go to system and you change the language to whatever language you're trying to go for here. In this case it would be Japanese, so you just find Japanese, you put that on here, and you'll also get your voices in-game to be Japanese. Right now it's only text. But just for your, I'm not going to showcase it right now because it's quite simple, but just for your knowledge, you can do that as well. With this method, you're actually going to be able to do this basically with any language possible. Just be careful with how you buy your stuff, because you don't want to buy it with gift cards. So Japanese do not buy it with gift cards 100%. That doesn't work. With most other versions, I do believe you can just straight up make an account on, like, let's say German, and purchase some Euro gift cards, and then put that in your wallet and buy Black Ops 4 that way. You'll have German BO4 access that way if you would like. The reason you would do this method instead of the second one is the second one, first of all, not all people sell game versions on eBay, which you might be looking for, so they're a bit rarer to find if you're trying to get a hold of discs. Usually you get them by going to the country, so that's not available for all people, but this will be just available for you to do at home anytime you like. If for some reason your digital game doesn't transfer from your alt account to your main, you just have to go over here and check this one option, go over to settings and users and accounts, then click on your other settings, and then console sharing on offline play. This is probably disabled for some reason, and you just basically enable this. For me, it's already enabled. If you have someone else using your account on a different PlayStation 5 and game sharing off of that, that will cause a bit of issues. It will remove theirs, but you need this to transfer your accounts from the main one. What you can also do is do it on the other account. So if I wanted to, I could go to my Japanese account and just do the same setting. That will also work like that. Anyway, that's all for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. If someone does want to buy this Japanese Black Ops 4 I don't actually use it, so if you want to buy it off me, just message me on Instagram. I can sell that shit to you if you wanted, or if you wanted me to make you some other Japanese accounts, I can. If this video gets enough support, I will get the secret method for the Japanese accounts done, but for now that shit's private, so the only way you can really get that done is if you get someone from Japan to make you an account, or if you know the secret method. But yeah, I hope you guys will have a nice, wonderful day. I'll see you around. My name is JakubiK. Vive la Gloire de BO4.